what are the best types of physical activities? So let's say somebody has 3 days a week, what would you recommend that they did if they were open to kind of doing any sort of physical activity?
I would recommend swimming personally. It's works almost every muscle in your body, and I just think it's overall best workout.
I would say something as simple as literally walking your dog because it's easy, or sorry, you might not have a dog, just going on a walk. Like, it's really easy to do. Nearly everybody that I could think of has access to it, so just getting outside and walking around.
I would say if you can find a friend to work out with, or like do anything with, for sure do that because then you'll most likely enjoy it more than if you were to do something by yourself.
Yeah, kind of on that same thing. Just doing something that you enjoy, going out and playing a sport, or just going on a jog once in a while if you enjoy that. Something that'll just get your blood flowing that you like to do.
Yeah, kind of going off of that, you kind of want to do something that you enjoy, you can find other friends to do with, and it's easy for you to do.
And like if you don't know what you like, just experiment and try things out until you know what you do like, and then you can stay with that.
What's the recommended amount of physical activity per day and per week for teens?
It's covered in our video.
But
Okay.
yeah, it's gonna be that.
All right.
Per day, it's about 30 minutes. People generally overhype it, but if you're getting like 30 minutes, you're good to go.
About 3 to 4 times a week on that.
Good. What changes would you make in our physical education program K through 12, not just at Eastview, but middle school level, elementary school level? What suggestions, if you had all the PE teachers in a room and you had positive things that you think you could impact the program in a positive way, what things would you tell them?
I really wouldn't change much other than the fact that classes like IndieFit, where you're actually having your heart rate is being like recorded by the monitors and stuff, I would take those out because people have preconceived notions of the class that it's just gonna be terrible, and like it really isn't that fun. I don't know anybody that enjoys it, and it sort of gets those preconceived notions of physical activity and gym classes that people just don't like to do in them, and it discourages people, I'd say. So cut that.
More so in elementary school. I remember I only had like it once or twice a week, and then once you get to middle school, you have like about once every other day. And I think they should just like make kids get physically active more, especially at such a young age, so they can develop good habits and like getting physically fit.
Going off of that, I would probably want to make sure that the gym classes offer more unique, different kind of like sports and activities that you might have never done before.
Yeah, make the things a little bit more enjoyable, like the activities that they do. Not always just running around like Logan's saying and
Like,
IndieFit.
There's like, yeah, IndieFit. I mean, I feel like you could put your heart monitor on for a different class. So like, let's say you're playing basketball or something. A way you could get a good grade is if you have your heart rate up in the green zone for X amount of minutes. I mean, you're not gonna have it the whole time because you're not running the whole time. You're either running or you're sitting or you're like shooting or something. So you could probably get rid of those IndieFit classes, I'd say.
What's the most important thing you learned through your research for this topic?
I would probably say the simple fact that you only really need 30 minutes a day because, like I was saying a little while ago, people have it in their heads that you need to be doing a ton of stuff every single day, but like you really don't. As long as you're doing 30 minutes, that's pretty darn quick. Like you're good to go.
Yeah, like Logan said, only 30 minutes a day to reduce the risk of many diseases. And down the road, I would definitely take advantage
Small
of
price
those
to pay.
30 minutes. Yeah, especially if you like what you're doing. So.
Yeah.
And also like 3 to 4 times a week, like you can do it every other day, you can take a day off, you can take 2 to 3 days off, really. It's not that bad.
I never knew how much the physical activity affected your health and mood. Didn't understand that really, and that was pretty interesting to read about.
I kind of learned about how much physical activity you needed, so that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, and part of that, how much you need and what's recommended, depends on the intensity of the exercise. So for 30 minutes, it's vigorous exercise where you are sweating, it's not a walk. Moderate exercise where maybe you're not breaking a sweat would be 60 minutes a day. So depends on what type of activity you're doing, but yeah, a 30-minute jog or bike ride, where you're kind of pushing yourself a little bit is not that much, that's not that much time. And I know there's some questions in here about how do you do that when you've got so much homework and stuff like that. Do you guys want to talk a little bit about the effects on the brain, what exercise does to the brain?
Yeah, definitely. So when you're exercising more, you're getting more blood flowing through your body. Your brain is going to be more functional because when you're just laying down watching a TV show, it's basically just your like eyes and just perceiving and taking in what you're watching. But when you're doing physical activity or moving around, your blood's flowing, your brain is working in many different ways, stimulating different parts of it. So you're gonna, by default, you're going to be more focused on your homework and stuff.
Basically like a mental reset, just refocus and gather your thoughts.
Yeah, when you're working out, you like pumping blood through your body, actually, you're getting more oxygen to your brain. I feel like so you can, have a more stable mind or be more clear of what you're thinking about.
Yeah, this is one of the main things that Coach Vandenberg talked about when we interviewed him. He really stressed the matter that kids need to be more physically active to help their mind. Because he says that he always runs every day before he comes to school to help him become more awake and have a better day.
Also, when you kind of physically get active, it kind of, you can focus on the activity and clear your mind of all of what you're thinking about and kind of focus.
Yeah, it's a great stress reliever in that way.
You can break it up too, like when you're doing homework, every 10 minutes you'd often do 10 jumping jacks or something, and that time adds up if you stay consistent with it. So if you don't have the full 30-minute time block in a row, you can just break it up.
Yeah, because your brain is so much more alert after you work out. A lot of times you can take a 30-minute break from your homework because you'll be a lot more efficient when you do your homework, so you actually get through your homework faster if you work out before you start doing your homework. So sometimes it seems like, well, it takes me 4 hours to do all my homework. Well, if you worked out beforehand, it might only take you 3.5, or it might only take you 3 hours to do it because you're so much more alert. So that's a lot of schools actually will do physical activity before like the MCAs and stuff. They'll have their kids go out and walk or jog before they take the test because they found that it increases test scores. So for those of you taking the ACT and wanting to get a particular score, it might be worth getting up and working out a little bit that morning, even if it is just a 20-minute, 20-minute workout. It tends to boost your performance, mental performance. So, all right. Please give them a round of applause, even though they're not technically done.